Please subscribe on all of our channels: YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, and now Spotify. If you're on YouTube, hit like and subscribe right now. If you're on iTunes, please leave us a rating and review. Also, visit us on the sportscast.net for all the up to date sports news. And if you have an iPhone, download our app. This episode is brought to you by Zach White, Realtor, LEH Homewood in Birmingham, Alabama. Many of you know Zach as someone who's actively been helping kids learn sports and life lessons through Soccer Shots, Wish to Enrich, and Iron Kids Ministries. Well, now Zach has a new way to serve others through LAH Real Estate. If you or someone you know is looking for a home or needing to sell, call Zach at 205 381 7050. I'm your host, over the hill powerlifter and 2003 Bama grad, Justin Riley. With me, as always, is the man who is an Alabama legend, all SEC linebacker, two-time author, and when Ric Flair said to be the man, woo, you got to beat the man, he is that man, Marvin Constant. Well, he was that
I
man.
couldn't give myself a better intro, Justin. Thank you.
Hey, man, I spent hours over here in my
Day,
little.
baby.
I spent hours.
Heisman Day.
That's right. Hey, I spent hours in my single wide here in Mississippi trying to think of that intro for you. I thought I'd get.
Well, that's a good job.
That's pretty good. That's
Your indoor
Yeah.
plumbing must have been working that day. You was feeling yourself.
Hey, man, definitely. Well, without any further ado, we got some great guests tonight. One is not here, but one definitely is here, and I'll let you give him a great intro after you get
Hey,
your
listen,
flex on.
man. It is Heisman Day, okay? Heisman Day.
Come on,
Now,
come on.
my pick for the Heisman is Devonta Smith. He's the wide receiver who put in so much work. But before that was a Devonta Smith, that was another great receiver who won an SB. You know what I'm talking about? Mister,
Come on.
I'm going to catch it behind your back. I don't care what kind of coverage you got on me. It's my ball. It's the Tyrone Prothro himself.
Thank you,
What?
thank you, thank you. That was
Well,
pretty good.
glad to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me
What's
on.
going on, brother?
Man, ain't nothing, man. Just
It's a pleasure,
grinding.
man.
and-
We happy to have you.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
listen, hold on.
Yes.
Before we go any further, last week when we was, was it last week we was on? Kevin Norwood and some of them guys.
was
Justin
last week.
said Kevin Norwood had the best hands he's ever seen at Alabama. I said,
Oh man,
respectfully,
you had to call me out
Man.
like that.
I respectfully dispute that. He ain't catching no ball behind nobody back.
No,
Hey.
no,
Do that.
and no, he doesn't have a Daniel Moore either. I was wrong, and I was at
Hey.
that game too.
So apologize.
Hey, you
I'm sorry,
you
Tyrone.
can ask
Prothro.
you can ask some of my kids, man, when when the ball comes my way, man, they look at each other like, man, this man still got it.
Yes, sir.
Look, I might be getting older, but these
Right.
hands are still here.
Well, let me ask about that, man. What kind of reaction
Catch a
do your kids
BB
give
in the
you?
rain at
Uh-huh.
night.
What kind of reaction do your kids give you, man? Knowing about your background and, of course, everything you're associated with. You got the Daniel Moore painting. List goes on and on. What kind of reaction do you get?
Well, I mean, of course, when I first got there, man, the kids, a lot of the kids, man, they didn't know who I was unless their parents told them, because a lot of the kids that I coach wasn't born till 2005 or 2006. So
Wow.
if they knew, it's because their parents told them, and their parents found out I was gonna be their teacher, and they probably told them a little bit about me. But just being out there and just some of the things that a ball could be coming my way, or I'm throwing routes to them and they throw the ball back and they throw it high over my head, and just my reaction is to reach back and catch it. And then they just they look at each other and just laugh and like, man, this dude still got it.
Yes, sir.
So I still got these hands, man. Just being out there and working with the kids, man. They know I mean well, and I want to see the best for them.
Well, I want to hear more about the coach. Your coach will get back to you as a player and whatnot, and talk about everything that's going on. But I want to know about Coach Prothro. What's he like?
Oh man, just really, it's more about than just the football aspect of it for me. I try to be more of a mentor because I know a lot of kids You know, especially at the school that I'm at now. A lot of them grew up the way I grew up, man. A single parent home, stuff like that. So I try to see where they're coming from and try to be there to give them advice if they need it. Because, you know, a lot of them, they'll come to me and ask me for advice about certain things. And, you know, I try to give them life lessons and not just, not just focus on the football aspect of it, because it's more to life than just football.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's one of the main things that I enjoyed about being a coach when I was at Homewood Middle, and was like you said, nowadays it's very rare to have a two-parent home, and even if parents are there, they're not quite there. So they really don't have anyone to
Disconnect.
really spend time, connecting with them and mentoring them. So you really are that mentor. You are that extra parent. And for some, maybe like pastor or just whatever role, that fulfills. So it's a huge deal, and to me, that's like the most rewarding aspect of coaching.
Oh no, definitely. And I mean, and even on top of that, you know, sometimes, I do tend to share my faith with them because I'm a big believer in God and that things happen for a reason. And
Yeah,
and I don't try to force anything on
right.
anybody. You know, if they want to know about it, I tell them, that my belief, because I know in a lot of situations who got me out of situations that I've been in. So, and I try to share with them and let them know that, I am a believer. And, a lot of them, after, they respect you, just for letting them know that. So, like I said, I just try to be as positive as I can to them and be that, for some of them, that older brother or, that
Yeah.
adult figure that's there for them and they can come and talk to about anything, man. I leave my door open for all of them.
But one of the
Hey,
things about it though, a lot of people don't understand. You went through the same thing that I went through. When you
mhm.
talk about your faith, man, you got to pull every resource you have when
Right.
you go through a situation like that. It's the injury itself is bad enough. And then when the surgery doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, and you
Yeah,
got
man.
lingering effects that you got to deal with for years and years. I mean, because me personally, I ended up having 5 knee surgeries, and it was a 4-year ordeal for me. So,
Yeah.
it took everything I had in me to survive that because there was a lot of dark days, man. So I understand what you're saying when you talk about you got to have your faith because that
Mhm.
was the one thing in life I will honestly say pushed me to my breaking point and back, man. I
Right.
mean, that the mental aspects of it is something that most people will never understand.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it was in 2005, man. From 2005 till about 2010, man. And probably a little bit later. I can't. It's been a long time. I can't remember my last surgery, but I've had 12 surgeries. And
Wow.
when you have that many surgeries, man, it's just, you know, and a lot of it was just to correct some things that wasn't done right in the beginning. So, um, it's just when you go through stuff like when you go through things like that, man, you have to have some kind of phase. Otherwise, you ain't gonna make it through it. You're gonna struggle because a lot of people in our situations that go through, sports is all and then for you to have a catastrophic injury that really takes the one thing that you love the most away from you. A lot of people will break down and they
Yeah.
go they stray away and you don't know what you know how they're going to handle that or how their life is going to end. A lot of people fall by the wayside and their life just becomes, you know, just downhill from there. But man, for me, um, I just decided to try to make, do the positive thing about it, man, and to graduate and use my story, use what I have, just to try to inspire people, try to motivate people. Um, and it's a pleasure when somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, man, I know your story, and I just want you to know that you really inspire me." And just to hear somebody say
Yeah.
that, man, it's a blessing.
Yeah,
One of the
man.
biggest.
It takes so much mentally to get through that, man. So again, to you, I say I wholeheartedly understand.
Yeah, I know
I
you
didn't have to do
understand. I know
12,
you
Yeah.
understand. Yeah.
but them 5 was brutal.
Oh, I already know. I already know. I already,
And
I imagine
but I'll be honest with you though. I don't talk about this much, but I'll talk about it right now. The most difficult part of that whole ordeal for me was when I had my first surgery and things still weren't going right. And people telling me that, oh, well, it's part of the process. You're going to have this and you're going to have that. And then 6 months later, I'm still having the same issues. And it's like, y'all ain't going to keep feeding me the same crap when I know something isn't right.
Right.
So I ended up having to go to my high school team doctor. Shout out to Boney Barano, man. And I told him, I said, Doc, just scope it, man. Look in there. Tell me what's going on because I know something ain't right. The whole time they trying to get me to go back to the team doctor. And I'm like, nah, man, that dude ain't touching me no more. So when he scoped my knee, my ACL was halfway attached. My medial meniscus was still torn. My articular cartilage, where it was torn, hadn't even been touched. My patella tendon wasn't aligned properly. It was all bad, man. I ended up having to go to Dr. Andrews and Dr. Kane in Birmingham. Dr. Kane, man, that is my guy. When I say that dude saved my life, man, because he went back in and redid everything. And honestly, man, I've been fine after the 2 surgeries that he did on me, that it took to fix it, man. But before that, it was rough, man. And I really had a lot of dark days because I'm walking with a limp. I was struggling.
No doubt.
Nothing would go right. And the whole time they trying to tell me to go back to this man. Nah, we ain't doing that no more. See, had it not been an emergency surgery situation anyway, we wouldn't have did it anyway. But the fact that they didn't know if I had internal bleeding or if I had nerve damage, it was something that had to be done. Like, boom, like, you got to do this because we don't know if you're going to lose your leg. It's like, oh, man, he would have never touched me from the start. So that was the most difficult part for me is the fact of after it's over, 6 months down the road, I still got people trying to tell me to go back to them, talking about this is normal pain. Nah. So I go and I get it scoped by my high school team doctor, and they were so mad about that. I'm like, why are y'all mad that I had an outside doctor look at my leg? And the whole time they fussing at me, all I did was I gave them the pictures that Dr. Barano gave me, and I said, boom, you still gonna be mad now that you see that my surgery was crap? You still gonna be mad at me that I went to an outside doctor? Hey, here's the pictures. You can see it for yourself.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, that's kind of a little bit of what I went through too, man. It's just, I've never been injured in football, man, until then. The worst thing I've had was a high ankle sprain my senior year in high school. And never been seriously injured, never had to sit out a game, never had to sit out of practice. And for that to happen the way it happened, and then I don't know anything about surgeries and how they're supposed to go, nor did my mom or anything like that. So I was kind of in the dark for a while about what the status of they never told me if I was going to be able to come back and play or not. Like, it wasn't even discussed really. I guess they kind of just let me figure it out on my own. But just being around and not hearing anything, but hearing people on the outside saying, oh, they didn't do his surgery right. Some ain't right about that. Like, just hearing people on the outside, that's where, my frustration came in at, because like, I there's a lot of stories I heard I'm not going to discuss on here, but man, it's just, just hearing that all in the beginning was just kind of, that was the frustrating part for me. So I definitely, we on the same page when it comes to
listen, let me tell you though, this is the part that kills me the most. So they trying to tell me I'm going to walk with a limp for the rest of my life. This is what the doctor said. I'll never run again. All this, this, that, and the third, which was true after the job you did on me. After Dr. Kane worked on me 16 months later, I worked out for the Vikings at 258, dropped to 4640. Man, listen, when I say I'm just glad the issues in T-Town have been rectified.
Right. I'm with you on that.
Let me ask you this. Of course, overcoming was pretty huge, but during that time, who really poured life into you and really invested in you to help bring you out of that?
Well, I mean, number one, man, my mom was here she actually came to the game. She was at the Florida game.
Oh,
my uncle came, my cousins came. Like, I had a few tickets to that game, and and I wanted her to be at that game. And it's crazy that I wanted her to be at that game even before the game, not knowing the type of game that I would have. because, I tell a lot of people that was the best and the worst game of my career. And for my mom to be at that game, like, forget the injury, but for her to be in that game at that moment, one of the loudest I've ever heard Brian Denny, still to this day, and for her to see me ball out the way I balled out, like it, like I was happy that she was there at that moment. Now the injury happened in the fourth quarter, and I know everything else that happened out there. But man, my mom, she was there for me every step of the way. Her prayers, how strong she was, and that was really kind of, the one person, number one, who helped me get through everything. And my brother has been here with me since day one, ever since the injury, and he's. Anything that when I was on crutches and anything I need, man, he was there for me. So, that's been a lot of people that's, the prayers and that's been in my corner. My old receiver coach, Coach Cheese, Coach Charlie Harbison, man, he was there with the prayers. He came to the hospital. Coach Schuler, man, even to this day, I still talk to Coach Schuler. He'll call and check on me every now and then. And just like those people, man, they checked in with me, and even to this day, are still in my life. Of course, I lost my mom, but she's still with me in spirit, man. And but those people, man, they just what they did and how they were in my life after that is kind of helped push me through.
Yeah.
To get me going.
Hey, Pro, let me tell you something. I'm glad you didn't call me, because I told you I'm on my way to pick you up. We about to go take a trip and go see him.
Man,
we finna go. Listen, if ain't nobody else gonna handle it, we can go handle this right now.
Call me. I wish you would have called me.
Like somebody need to lay some hands on him one time.
Yeah, man.
Well, I wanted to so bad. Listen, man, when I tell you, after I worked out for the Vikings and I ran that 4.640, life was good. They were talking about sending me to NFL Europe. The Dolphins bring me in. Life was almost back to normal. I was so furious at him, though, for the years and the time that he cost me. Like, dude, if you know you're not up to the job, don't do the job.
Yeah. You're right. You're right about that.
I mean, because I've been fine ever since Dr. Kane. Lyle Kane. Shout out to Lyle Kane.
Dr. Kane,
greatest
Dr. Kane and Dr. Waldron.
Absolutely.
Dr. Kane and Dr. Waldron, man, they've been, my last surgery, man, it was a big help to me. Dr. Waldron is the one that actually he did the procedure on my ankle, man, and it worked wonders. Just the range. I got a little bit more of my range of motion back in it, but just for it to be that long, and then to finally find somebody that can do it right this time.
Hey, listen, crazy, you don't have to tell me. Cause look, check it now. After Dr. Kane worked on me, I played arena football for some years on that turf, which is basically cement.
Yeah.
Never had to ice my knee one time ever. To this day, my knee still does not swell up. When I say that knee works better than my other one to this day, man, come on.
You're starting to get a little fired up, and that's a perfect segue to our favorite segment, Constant Chaos, brought to you by Milo's, who has one of the greatest food traditions since 1946. What this is all about, it allows Marvin to give us his unfiltered thoughts on issues surrounding Alabama or college football in general. What do you have for us this week, Marvin?
You know what? I was going to talk about football. I was going to talk about the chaos being the way Ohio State dominated Clemson after Dabo ranked them number 11 and talked all that crap. But now we scrapping that. My chaos for today is the fact that Alabama had such a crappy team doctor for all those years. How did y'all let that man butcher all us like we were lab rats? That man was down there experimenting with us, and y'all let him do it. How can you, as the greatest power on the planet in college football, allow such an atrocity to happen when you know your team doctor is not up to the job? You have a list of bodies that you have dismembered, surgeries that you did, you nowhere near what they should have been. But y'all allowed this to go on for all those years. I can go back to the early 90s and tell you about people that this dude butchered, but y'all still allowed this to go on for all those years. Did it really take that long for y'all to figure out that, hey, this ain't the dude we need working on the best athletes in the country? How do you have the best of everything, but you got a crappy team doctor who shouldn't even be working on pets? out here operating on people like this is okay. That's my chaos. But I'm glad they came to their senses and they fixed it again. Shout out to Lyle Kane, baby.
I know it, man.
Hey, things changed when Saban came around too. So yeah, only the best period. But yeah, man, you're absolutely right. It's atrocity what happened to guys like y'all. I mean, guys that were destined for the NFL Hall of Fame, and
guys like us,
better than I.
Tyrone Hill, Travis Car. I can give you a long list of people who have suffered under the knife for that dude.
Well, you mentioned Clemson and what happened to them this past weekend. No one saw that coming. That being said, guys, do you think the playoff committee got the top four right?
You said what now?
I say, leading up to this week, we all were saying the playoff committee did not get it right. We all gave Ohio State zero chance, and they showed us that, we didn't know what we were talking about, and they caused chaos on Clemson. So I ask you, after seeing what we saw Saturday night, did the playoff committee get the choices right for the top four?
I think they did. I mean, no one can account for you can't predict that Ohio State was going to play as well as they played. Yeah, you know that they're a great team.
I did.
You know that they're a great team, and you know that they got a great quarterback and pieces around them. And they were also playing motivated, obviously, by the video that their head coach posted. So you knew those guys were going to play for him. You couldn't, of course, I thought Clemson would beat them. I thought it was going to be a good game, close game, but I thought Clemson would beat them. And just for the game to be, regardless to what the stats and all that stuff says, the game still has to be played. Those guys still got to go out there and execute and do their stuff. And, on that night, man, Ohio State, those guys played, they came ready to play. And they did a great job in doing what they did. So, I mean, the only, and I knew they were going to put Notre Dame back in, but just because I figured they wouldn't want to see Alabama beat up on Texas A&M again, and as far as just the draw that Notre Dame would brings, I felt like they would put them back in there at number 4, but I also knew what would happen, in that game. So I think they got it right. Of course, you can't try to predict what would happen in those games.
Let me interject. They got it wrong. They got it wrong, and wrong.
Okay.
First of all,
talk to me.
Here is the problem. All right. So again, you put Justin, did I not tell you last week I would much rather play Notre Dame than Ohio State? I told you.
You did say that.
I did not want to play Ohio State.
No
I told
doubt.
you they were going to be
firing
on all cylinders. Here's the thing. The committee got it wrong because you take these two trash teams from the trash ACC and try to say that they're that good. The ACC is trash. So how you going to take the two top trash teams? That's like, okay, you got a trash can full of old food. You going to say, I'm going to eat the old half-eaten pizza and the honey bun off the top? Or are you just going to go buy something else? You just going to go buy something because it's all trash. It's all trash in the ACC. It's been trash. Clemson has usually been the cream of the crop in the trash. They don't play nobody, so they fresh at the end of the year. Now you play the real team. You beat them. No, you lost. Now, here's the thing. Notre Dame, even more trash. So, basically, the two teams from the ACC got blowed out, right? Because, again, they just tried.
So who should have been there?
Yeah. Who would have matched
Who
up?
should have been there?
Tell me
besides Ohio State, who would have matched up?
Tell me who Marvin would have put in there.
Me, you, and a couple of my homeboys, we could have did better than Notre Dame. We could have did better than Listen, man, I get it. The options were slim who to put in there. I get it. But at some point, it shouldn't have been both of those trash teams in there. Because, it's a blackout in the ACC that, you got two teams in, but they both got blowed out. So what does that really say about the strength of your conference? Now, Texas A&M. Who did Texas A&M play? North Carolina, another trash team from the ACC. Beat them, 41-28, all right? So, boom.
Let me add,
North Carolina had a better game with Texas A&M, than Notre
Probably.
Dame, to be honest.
Probably. Yep. I agree with that. I agree
And
with
North
that.
Carolina also played without several players too. So A&M was struggling against North Carolina minus was it 2 receivers and both those tailbacks that are going pro,
Yep.
and then yeah, so they had a lot of their team out except for the defense. But still, A&M struggled with them for a good portion of that game.
Justin, don't be trying to discredit my point. The
I'm not
ACC is
discrediting your
trash.
point.
Don't try to make North Carolina look like they're the cream of the trash.
They're
All
not.
right,
I'm
here's
just
the thing.
saying is that if anybody should look bad is Texas A&M for struggling against a team that had a bunch of opt-outs.
Justin, you're trying to discredit my point about the ACC being trash right now, okay? But that's fine. That's cool. But here's the bottom line. They let them in. They both got their butts handed to them.
True.
So now what? Can you really say that they got it right when 3 and 4 got killed? 2 and 4, did they really get it right?
So tell me this then. Before you saw those blowouts, I want you to answer this honestly. Before you saw those blowouts, would you still be saying they got it wrong?
Yep.
He said it the past 2 weeks, yeah.
Did I not tell you last week you do not want to play Ohio State right now? Have I not been telling you that? Have I not been saying that Notre Dame is trash? And I told you Ohio State was finna give Clemson, they finna hand them their butts. Here you go on a platter. Have I not been telling y'all that?
See, I didn't see it just because Ohio State has had such a hard time this season because they play a game and then they had to sit out 2 games because of COVID. They play a game, then they had to sit out another game because of COVID. So it was start, stop, start, stop. They never could quite get into a rhythm. So we didn't see the Ohio State that was on the field this past Saturday. We saw a team still trying to find themselves. So that's why
the thing about it, yeah, they were still trying to find themselves, but I also seen Clemson. I seen Clemson lose to an inferior Notre Dame team. I get it. Trevor Lawrence didn't play, but that's still that same weak Notre Dame team that they lost to. You know,
right.
Even with a backup quarterback, you should have beat them. The fact that Notre Dame was able to run the ball down their throats the first time around, it was ugly. And then the second time that they played, it was still a close game. So it's like you still got the trash playing the trash. At what point do you separate yourself from the rest of the pack? I don't feel like either one of the teams from the ACC ever separated themselves from the pack. And I told you that Ohio State, they got a defense now. Don't you sleep on that Ohio State defense. And I knew that Clemson's defense was subpar. What's the dude named? Skowski, who can't stay in the game? That dude can't cover to save his life. So how are you going to cover? How are you going to play teams that go to spread offense, a team like Justin Fields? That's a matchup nightmare. He can't cover anybody. Clemson's DBs are not the best. That's why you seen Ohio State violate them. How many touchdowns did Justin Fields throw? 6? Did they cover anything? Did they even cover did they even put a lid on the pot for the team dinner? My God.
Well, let's turn our attention to our game. What were y'all's main takeaways from Alabama versus Notre Dame?
Well, for me, just the way we were able to, run the ball. You look at Devonta, man, he was able to do basically do what he wanted to.
He wanted to do.
Nobody could cover him. You would think going into the game, all right, I'm not gonna let 6 beat me. And he still went out there and beat you. He still did what he wanted to do. And just the way we ran the ball, how Najee ran the ball, man, it's the offensive line blocked well. So just to see how our team responded, how our team executed, it just makes you feel good how we performed in the game.
Offensively, we did what we were supposed to do.
Right.
I have nothing to say about the offense. Defensively, oh God, where do I even start? Pete Golding needs to be fired as soon as this game is over. He should have been fired beforehand. Here's the thing. How do you let them score late in the game and Vegas collects? The spread was 19. You had the spread covered. You let Notre Dame score late in the game and ended up being, a 14-point game? Vegas was so happy that Pete Golding is Alabama's defensive coordinator. Because everybody who took Alabama in them 19 points lost. Because why? Because we got Pete Golding as a defensive coordinator who let them score late in the game and let Vegas win. Come on, man. Come on.
Hey, we actually have a call from the audience. Let me let them in real quick to ask a question. Hey, you're live on the Riley and Constant Show with Steve Brown. Tell us who you are and where you calling from.
Justin, thanks for having me. It's your old friend from a couple months ago, Mike from Syracuse, New York.
Glad to have you back on, brother. How's it going?
I apologize, guys. Love the show. I've been really busy. I get you on Wednesdays on the review, so I appreciate being able to get on this time. Big thing, we all know, big championship next week. Again, late to the show tonight, so I'm sorry if I'm being repetitive. So I love our defense. We have some great players on defense, but it just seems still till today we can't get it together as a whole. What do you think are going to be the keys to the matchup next week?
Byron Pete Golding. That's the key to the defense being successful. Letting Pete stay in Tuscaloosa. Don't let him on the plane. My God, this dude is trash.
I think ultimately, man, I think we've struggled to get a pass rush probably for a while now. I think if we're able to get a good pass rush and put some pressure on them, I think it'll help out the guys in the back end. But
now, hold on, Pro. Hold on. Let me ask you a question, though.
Okay.
So you say we aren't able to get a pass rush, which is very true. So for us not to be able to get a pass rush, why do we run so much man-to-man coverage?
I can't answer that for you.
If we cannot cover, I mean, we can't cover forever. So if you're not getting the pass rush, you allowing that quarterback to just sit back there all day.
Back there.
You cannot allow Justin Fields to sit back there all day. So he's going to either have to put some pressures in. He's going to have to mix it in. We're going to have to run more zone. We're going to have to run some zone blitzes. You're going to have to run some bracket coverages on the back end. Stop blitzing. I mean, stop trying to run all this man-to-man if we ain't getting no sacks.
No, you're right. You're right. If you're gonna run man-to-man like that, man, you either got to have some dogs up front.
You gotta have some dogs
that can come off the rock, or you got to put more man blitz packages in there to put pressure on the quarterback and make him, possibly rush his throw and maybe get a pick or two.
Hey, you want his phone number so you can call Pete and tell him that I can get his number, and maybe you can call him and talk to him. Like, hey, this is SB winner Tyrone Prothro. Let me tell you how to run a defense to stop wide receivers. My God.
Does that about answer your question, Mike?
Justin, I appreciate it. I got to say, to me, so I was in college when Tyrone Prothro, and I believe later, I don't know if he's on yet, is Kenneth Darby. I was in college at Alabama when those two guys, legends to me. So if you're there, I appreciate everything you guys did. I actually took a comm studies class with Kenneth Darby. I still remember today when the new addition on the stadium was getting done. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Appreciate everything you guys have done for the university.
Did you do any of his homework for him?
I did not. I struggled getting my own done.
I can attest to that.
Hey,
that. He lived with me.
The houndstooth prevented us from doing a lot of the work we were supposed to.
No, that's right.
Pounders, all of the above,
yes,
man.
Sir. All right. Well, thanks for the call, Mike. I appreciate it as always. Great question.
Hey, one last thing, guys. I'll let you know. So I'm up here in Syracuse, New York. I go to Rochester, an hour away, for all the games. Now, there used to be an alumni association in Rochester. It used to be about 60 people strong. Unfortunately, they've all, passed away through the years, and we're down to about 4 people. I'm the youngest person by about 50 years. But we're not strong in numbers, but man, are we strong in spirit. So we root on Alabama as much as we can. I got the little Southern drawl, little Alabama right there.
I heard.
And we root our team on. Roll Tide, guys. Roll Tide. Love the show.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, Roll Tide.
Shout out to the Rochester, Alabama Alumni Association, man. Hey, listen, man, keep doing what you're doing. It doesn't matter how many numbers you have. What they say, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. So keep doing what you're doing,
No
man.
doubt.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. All right. All right. All right. So I do have to ask, you had a pretty good leap to make that catch, Tyrone, but what about Najee's leap over that grown man? What y'all think about that?
Man, for him to be as big as he is, and for him to be able to, to jump over, basically a grown man, the dude is ridiculous, man. Just to see, just the athleticism that he has, and then for him to land on his feet and
Yeah.
keep going it,
Yeah.
for that fact. So just to see him do that, man, some of the things that he does, like you don't think somebody of his size could, should be able to do that, but he does, and he does it on a regular basis. He just amazes me what, just the things that he does.
Hey, that looked like one of my moves, one of my old moves when I used to be out there, you know what I'm saying, moving and shaking, getting there.
Man,
Ah!
you just ran through people, bro.
Oh yeah.
So I know
The
the
only
score
time I
shows that
jumped was if I was jumping off sides. My God.
I do remember that. So I know the score shows that we dominated Notre Dame, but do you guys feel like we left some points on the field?
Feel like our defense left some points on the field. Yeah. I think Nick really took his foot off the gas. We could have done a lot more.
I feel like that too. I feel like they kind of let up, and just didn't want it to get, didn't want it to get ugly. Because he always does that against other coaches, like, just kind of, lets up and wants to get the game over late in the game. And I think he was more, the pass interference that they called at the end. I think he was more pissed off that the referees called a penalty when he really just wanted to get the game over.
Well, I hope he let Sark go out in style this week and run it up. I hope he let him air it out. Leave every point on the field. I hope he let Sark open that playbook up and that thing just start glowing with a halo. Let it breathe. Let that boy. Yeah. Hey, bro, that defense, we're going to have some issues with Justin Fields and them boys. So they better let him run it up.
You know that, right?
So Notre Dame doesn't have the playmakers on the outside like what we'll face against Ohio State. What takeaway from this game defensively makes you feel somewhat confident about going up against their receivers?
Well, have we heard that if Malachi Moore was coming back yet? Because he didn't play in that last game.
I have not heard for certain. I heard he would.
I think he was out with an injury last game, so he didn't play. And that's one of our guys, man. He's kind of that honey badger type player.
Yeah.
Where he just kind of makes plays that.
We lost Tyrone, but let me fill in for him. Yes, we're going to miss Malachi. We missed Malachi last week because, again, when you can't get pressure up front, you need cornerbacks, DBs that can cover for an extended period of time. So, and we've not been the best at that all season, getting pressure. So we leave our DBs on the island, man. I would love to see the stats that Surtain and Job and Malachi would have if we had a real pass rush where that ball had to come out quick. I would love to see their stats in that case. Their stats would be phenomenal if we had that. Like if we had a real pass rush, Malachi and Surtain would have PBUs, interceptions, the whole nine for days.
No, Malachi missed last week because he was a little banged up from the Florida game. I was told that he, of course, he dressed out. He could have gone if they absolutely needed him, but of course we didn't need him. But he should be able to go this coming week against Ohio State. One person that really stood up to me was DeMarco Hellams. That guy was all over the place. It's like he stood up where Malachi normally would have been, and he really showed me something this past game.
Oh yeah, I like 14, man. He you know, I feel like he flies around and you know, he'll come up and tackle. But you know, it's something about 13, man. He flies around. He has a knack for making those plays. And you want to, if he can go, you want a guy out there like that on the field.
Well, you know, seeing Helms and all these young guys play, that lets me know that the future is bright for our defense. If we get rid of Pete, the future is extremely bright. But we get Pete's ass out of there. Man, listen, man. I got a 13-year-old that I know can call better defenses on Madden than Pete can in real life. I mean, come on, man. How do we allow this atrocity to go on for year 2? It better not be a year 3. Come on, man. He got to go, man. You cannot have that much talent and not be out here dominating people. Because I'm going to tell you like this. I get it. You know we struggle with the pass rush. So why do you keep setting your DBs up with all that? Stop doing it until you find that dog who can get that pressure. Go to zone defense. Start bracketing. I would even bracket to the field, play zone to the boundary, and just be done with it. My God.
Well, in the middle of your tirade there, which is definitely worth it, Ken Darby has joined us. Welcome to the show.
Is his phone working? Is that Metro PCS working, Ken?
I don't see him on here.
He's showing up on mine.
Oh, there he is, right there.
You got him?
Ken got that. He got that Snap Wireless from Walmart over there. It ain't working.
No,
right.
they don't. that cricket wireless.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna say a cricket. Man, it ain't even cricket.
I'm using that Old America Online. Oh, there we go.
What's up?
Oh man, I wasn't talking about you, Ken. I would never.
Hey, hold on. Let me hold on. Man, my apologies, fellas.
You're good, man.
I had a training session go over way too long, man. Y'all was jumping on me.
Oh man, Justin was talking about your phone, man. He said you got this Kurt Wireless or something that went out.
Yeah, Justin.
That was all Justin. You know?
No, I said he had the Old America Online dial-up going.
No,
y'all said cricket.
But you know why he said that? Because he in Mississippi. That's all he got in his area down there in his single wide.
Man.
He got the AOL and he got one of them old antennas on the roof.
Hey, I got a generator out back running this podcast, man. So by the grace of God, we're on.
That's what's up. How y'all boys been? Prothro, what up, baby?
Man, what's going on, KD?
Can't call it.
Ain't nothing,
What up, Marvin?
Man, what's good, brother? I've been good, man. No complaints. Just enjoying life, man. So what kind of training session was you in?
Yeah, what's going on with your training, brother?
Man, yeah, I do a little coaching on the side, man, and I train this one athlete who like to get it in, man. So we was doing some little training sessions tonight and went over time. So
hey, well, you know, if you need some fitness equipment, I got my 40+ strong line, you know, workout gloves, compression sleeves, elbows, knees, ankle braces, wraps, straps, weightlifting belts, the whole 9, baby. I got everything.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
Look at him.
What's the site?
You see him at home filming in my gym.
I see you. Like you about to come about that shirt. Man. Like you about to come about that shirt, bro.
Those shirts are.
Look at him now.
Still on point now.
Yeah, dog, Marv. Okay.
That's what we did the first half of the show is Marvin and Prothro flexing, man. So you missed out on that.
Oh,
if you want to get on it too, man, go right ahead. I'll give you some time before they make the announcement.
I'm the oldest person on here, man. What you mean? I'm just trying to make my 41 look good.
Hey, bro. Looking good, family.
Appreciate it, brother. Where you at these days?
Man, I'm in Huntsville. Well, Madison.
Oh, you in Madison?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Man, I gotta come over there to do a festival this spring. I have to come check you out.
Bro, come on. You know, this is my stomach ground right here, baby. Let me know.
Yeah, they asked me to come to something over there in May. I told them it depends on what their COVID looking like. I ain't trying to die going to do it. My God.
Oh, that's right. Stay away from that.
Exactly. All money ain't good money. You can keep that money if it's gonna cost me my life.
Trying to tell you, baby.
All right, I'm gonna attempt to share this on the announcement. So let's see what happens. If ESPN will let me.
You sure you can do that over there, man, on your chirp wireless?
There
Well,
you
can y'all
go.
see it?
Yeah, I see it.
All right, let me take it off mute here.
What that Ricky Williams? Yeah, it's Ricky Williams. There goes one damn beard on his face.
Hopefully they won't take us off of YouTube or and all the places we're on just to make this quick announcement. All right.
Who y'all think gonna win this
to,
thing, man?
I got
Devontae about to take this thing
winning
home,
in a
man.
runaway.
Yeah, man. I got it too. I got Devontae winning this thing.
I'm all for it.
I think it's close between him and Matt.
Here we go.
Yeah. I think Devontae gonna take that thing home, man.
He should.
Yeah, he should if they don't rob him.
With a legacy of being a Heisman Trophy winner. And now, without further ado, the 2020 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Devonta Smith.
Get that to that man.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Get that to that man, man.
That's what I'm talking
on the
about.
high.
Smitty.
Hey, I
Wide
knew
eye,
it.
baby. Wide eye, baby.
Okay.
That's
Hey,
what's
that's
up.
what I'm talking
That's
about.
what's
I
up.
knew he was gonna take it home. That's what's up.
I'd like to invite you to pick up that beautiful 25-pound Heisman.
First receiver in history, ain't it?
Nah, it ain't the first. Desmond was the last
Go
one
pick
to
up
win.
your
No,
trophy,
for
man.
Bama.
Oh yeah, first one. Well, he's only the third one. 2 running backs.
The first receiver out in Alabama history to get a Heisman.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what's up. That's
So
what's
is.
up.
That's big.
Didn't the Deuce place like third place
Deuce
that?
came up, yeah. He was
back in
in
the day?
there.
Didn't he place like third place in the Heisman?
Yeah, old DP. Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Wait, yeah, he was. What was he? Was he second or third?
I thought he was third.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Oh, yeah. It
Prothro.
was Charlie Ward, Heath Schuler, and then David Palmer. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know,
I had to go back for a minute
I
there.
couldn't be happier for Devontae, man. To do what he did, could have left last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For him to come back and improve his stop and to do what he did this season, man, it's something that you don't see out of many kids today.
Right.
Because this generation, to me, it's all about instant gratification. They want it now.
Yeah.
For
Right.
him to have the patience to sit back and say, let me do this one more year, because I know how this is going to impact my life in a positive way moving forward. That was so big of him to take that step. That was a decision that a man makes.
Most definitely. You said that key word, a man, because he definitely had to start the league last year. But you right, bro. You right, Mark.
Yeah.
Well,
It
now
definitely took him
it's too,
considering the thoughts and the process of that. And he did that was a great business decision on his part.
oh, no doubt.
Great decision, because
But-
easily he's going to be a
but do
top
you-
5 pick.
Do you know what the good thing is? And I know that I know they not. Every last person on this Alabama team can come back next year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
COVID,
Yeah.
baby.
They can come back next year and do it all over again. But of course,
I
I know
think
that ain't gonna happen.
No.
But
I would think about trying to see what these knees got left.
Hey, man.
You're going to jump off sides again,
Hey,
Hey, Justin, don't start with me. See, there you go, sneaking these jokes in again.
Hey, man, I got to get it in. Steve hadn't made his celebrity appearance yet, so I had to do something.
Hey, man, these knees ain't made for number walking these days.
Man,
The only
y'all
thing I
still
go
got
out
it.
there and
Y'all
do
still got
is
it.
hand them a towel when wipe their sweat off.
Oh, man.
But
You know you got more in the tank.
My tank is my gas light on, man. That thing beeping. There ain't nothing in the tank for that. No.
that boy clean though, man. He clean up there.
he did.
Yes, he is.
Man, what's amazing about Devontae is that out of all the receivers we had there, he was the least talked about coming in.
He sure was.
And no one was really giving him his props. And then he just was patient. And most people nowadays, man, they're not going to be patient. They're going to get mad. They're going to get frustrated. They're going to jump in the college free agency. I mean, the transfer portal. No, he just waited for his time to come. And man, and like y'all said, man, business decision. He just shined the past 2 years. He dominated. He really should have got the Blitnikoff last year. What he even mentioned, as a finalist, which was ridiculous. But
Right.
man, just talk about how he just kind of became the guy in a group with Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle, and the list goes on.
Man, I think he kind of went about his business quietly, man. That's why you never heard about him. His name was what it was, but when you talk about names, all you hear really mostly is the Jalen Waddles, the Henry Ruggs, the Jared Judy, the guys that. But he quietly went about his business, and
second and 26,
and
baby.
how many games? What, 5 games last year? He hit 200 yards.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I mean, he went about his business, like, and really nobody, it wasn't talked about much, but for him to come back and just better his game. And like he said, stay in the film room. Like, man, this dude was out here eating cats up, dog. It's really like unfair with him coming, him doing as well as he did last year. And then for him to come back and just put up the numbers and basically out there, man, this cat was out there running routes on folks, man.
Yeah,
like when if you're to be able to run routes, you don't have to be the fastest guy on the field, but to be able to run routes to get yourself open, like an average quarterback can get you the ball. If you're able to run routes and get open, just a good quarterback in the NFL can get you the ball.
Exactly, bro. I
Man,
believe that most definitely.
And he can run.
Hey, if anybody know about the route running, brother, it's definitely you, pro.
Dude,
Hey,
man.
So I got a question though. My routes was good, so why would nobody ever throw me the ball? My routes, man, listen, my routes was awesome. But
Hey.
in high school, quarterback, man, listen,
You
he
too
probably
swole.
threw me the ball twice in high school.
You too big and swole to be running routes, bro.
Hey,
You stop every 10 yards and flex.
He threw me the ball twice in high school. Both of them was on 5-yard flat route. Both of them for touchdown though. Hey, one of them I even laid out for that. Man, look, I look so clean. But when we were in the field, man, there wasn't even no purpose in running around. He wasn't throwing me the ball. So, but I'm wide open. He wouldn't even throw it. No love. I guess he's like, that's a linebacker for real playing running back. We ain't finna waste it down.
Another guy who came back was an awesome business decision was Najee. I mean, he was looking like a day 2 pick, maybe even, 3rd round, but he's easily played himself into the 1st round pick. Absolutely amazing. Ken, we talked a little bit about earlier his game against Notre Dame, but what are your thoughts, being one of the guys he actually passed on the all-time leading rushing stats? What do you feel about him, and do you see a little bit of yourself in his game?
No, I think that he definitely different from me. I say that.
You can leap like that.
Yeah, his hop's on a whole nother level than mine, man. But yeah, that man Najee, I definitely give him a lot of props and a lot of credit because, like you said, he could have left last year, but just like Devonta, I think he considered the cost on what it would take to come back this year if he just pretty much honed in on his craft, which him and Devonta did. And I think, him and Devonta, period, I think they kind of separate themselves from the pack of people that came back. And I think last year pretty much gave them an edge because they knew what the game was like and what they was playing against as far as competition level. And from that point, it's all about having that dog mindset. And I think both of them boys got that dog mindset where they can just separate themselves away from the average receiver, average running back. As far as Najee, man, that kid there, man, I think he will be another type Derrick Henry. I think he gonna get even better when he get to the next level. His style of running, he run hard, he a smart runner, and he tough. I think he gonna get to the next level and do just as good as he's doing now on a college level. But yeah, I'm glad he did come back because now you actually get to see exactly what everybody was talking about when he came into high school.
Right.
Yeah, so he definitely that dude, man. He on another level right now.
Let me ask y'all this though. If Jalen Waddle plays his whole year, is Devonta Smith sitting up here right now?
I'm gonna say yes.
I think
because you go back to 2nd and 26. Smitty has been doing work for years.
No doubt.
Under the radar. Last year, again, how many 200-yard receiving games? How many games with 4 and 5 touchdowns? Even last year, he shot. I'll be honest with you. Last year, I thought he was the best receiver on the team, ahead of Ruggs, ahead of Judy.
And Judy, yeah.
I thought Smitty was the best.
Yeah.
I think he probably would have had more yards had Jalen been there because who you going to cover if both those guys are on the
Exactly.
field?
You can't. It's
Well, the
impossible.
thing, yeah.
And they got Billingsley there too. I mean, and you got
And
Mechie.
Mechie?
What
It's
the only reason
impossible,
the only reason I said that is because with Jalen there, Mac has to spread the ball out a little bit more.
Yeah.
So does he, you know, just production wise, I know he's still gonna get his numbers and they still gonna get the ball to him, but does he have, I know he's gonna have he still would have had a productive year, but does he have as productive of a year that he's had?
I get what you're saying.
Because Waddle is that dude and they're gonna try to get the
That's
ball
true.
to him also.
Mm-hmm.
So
Both of them deep ball threats.
Yep. So I mean, you really you got to pick your poison with either one of them. So you got to think if we're throwing it to Waddle, you know, 5-6 more times, that's taking away 5-6 more times that they could be throwing to Devonta and vice versa. So that's why I asked the question. You know, is he still sitting up here? You know, I know he's definitely gonna have a productive year, but is he still sitting up here in New York? Well, of course he ain't in New York, but
Yeah,
is he
because
still
you know
sitting
why?
on this podium?
Yeah, because you can't bracket him anymore if you got Jalen over there. Jalen makes it a lot more difficult for you to double team or run a bracket coverage on Smitty.
But he was still eating cats up. He was still
That's what
eating
I'm
cats
saying.
up.
So, but are you gonna leave your DBs on Jalen one-on-one?
No.
They're in a no-win situation, regardless of defense.
Right.
Both of
Yeah,
them.
no win. No
They're in a
win.
no-win situation. Me personally, I think, hypothetically speaking, I think if Jalen was still healthy and he was playing, I think Najee would have had 2,000 yards, easy. And I think all three of them jokers probably would have been like for the Heisman.
I think if Jalen was there, I think Mac would have been more up there than Devonta.
Hey, listen, no.
Because he throwing them cats the ball.
Hey,
so
hey, listen, no. Word on the street, Jalen playing Monday.
Word on the street is he came back to practice today.
Yeah, I was going to ask y'all about that. He returned to practice today. Is he playing, and if he does, what percentage can he operate at, man?
Like regardless to whether it's, you know, I think it's either he ready to go and he can play, or you giving him something that they got to prepare for.
Honestly, I don't think that he will play if he's not ready to play, because I'm pretty sure he knows this is his last year at Alabama. So why go out here and risk playing hurt when you're about to be a first-round pick? I wouldn't do it.
Top 5.
Who you talking about, Jalen?
Yeah.
He got to come back another year. He's just a sophomore.
Yeah.
No, he don't.
Junior.
Jalen a junior.
He's a junior.
Jalen Waddle Jr. I thought he was a sophomore.
No. Jalen is a junior.
He's a junior, man.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So
yeah.
He's the top
so
5.
if he's playing, he's 100% healthy, because nobody who's about to be a first-round pick will go out there and risk playing hurt in a game that they don't have to play in. I wouldn't.
That's gonna be something serious, man.
Yeah, it is.
That's gonna be something serious.
We got a question.
I also heard something about what they talking about, maybe postponed or something like that. Y'all heard
Ohio State got making
Ohio
excuses.
State
Talking about they got some COVID cases.
It got squashed. It got squashed. They're playing.
I'm about to say, y'all know what that's about, right?
I'm about to say.
Y'all know they try to let that boy ribs heal up.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to do.
That's what Coach Saban's daughter. That's what Coach Saban's daughter tweeted out.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, man.
As soon as that came out,
I'm like, that's what that is.
As soon as that came out, everybody in the country knew that's if that was true, what they was doing with that.
Yeah,
let's come out with COVID. Let's give ourselves the best chance to win.
Exactly.
Man, when I tell you, old boy planted that helmet in his ribs so smooth though.
that made my ribs hurt.
Man, how many times have y'all played hurt? I know you played hurt.
Constantly.
Man.
Goodness.
Think of that. Hey, we got a question from the audience for Ken. It's that Ken, you went up against guys like Frey Roach, Jawan Simpson, D'Amico Ryans, and practice every day. How did that make you better as a player and prepare you for big games like the one we're talking about?
Man, it make games like this easy because you playing against players that you already know is like on another level, and they feel so. That's why I think every game that we had, I felt like there were no linebackers that I played against. I can literally say there's
Right.
no linebackers I played against I thought was better than what I went against every day in practice, period.
Right.
So they just made me better as a player. And I didn't look at no other linebackers. Like a game like this.
Hey, man.
we
Hey,
chopping.
Ken, will you tell Freddie Roach to quit telling people that he was better than me? My God. Man, tell Freddie to stop stroking his own ego, telling everybody he was better than me. Tell Freddie.
Hey, man, why would
he's
y'all
not
even get into
better
it? Y'all off the chain, man.
He needs to come on here, man. Debate that with us.
I know, right? Get him on here.
I've been trying. Marvin, you've been
Man,
trying.
I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna text him when we done. Freddie, he be acting like he's so busy coaching. I said, I'm just happy to see him off them golf carts. That's all he used to want to do, to ride around in the golf cart, acting like he can play golf. So now he got to work for real. So I'm happy for you, Freddie. Keep doing what you do. I'm coming to see you too.
We need a video of that. Hey, Tyrone, looking at this receiver group we have, how do they compare with the group that you had? Y'all had some dudes, man. We just didn't toss the ball around like we do now.
I mean, just as far as our receiver group, man, we had guys that that with speed, had guys with route running. Like we all understood, we all worked well together, and of course we had that gunslinger back there that could put the ball wherever he wanted to put it at. So, just compared to the guys that that are playing now, I think really I tell people all the time, like guys these days. Like I almost feel like they're so much faster. Like I was.
It's
fast,
not that they faster, pro. Tell the truth. Y'all was stalk block specialists.
Now I will say we were blocking a lot of the times. Katie know I stayed with that yellow hammer, so
hey,
I was always back there doing some kind of blocking, man.
I will
throw
vouch
that
for
physical
that.
specimen, man.
You right about that, Marvin. We was some stalk blocking specialists out there, but you know what? We all understood. It wasn't no selfishness amongst our group. We all understood our role. We all understood what we had to do to get done. And if that was making an extra block to spring KD loose, and like it was, we did what we had to do. But these days, with as spread out as they are now, like these cats, they're getting more of an opportunity to run around and run routes, and actually just how they prepare, how route running is more prevalent now than it was when I was in school. Yeah, we ran routes, but these guys now, they got gurus and all this stuff like that are out there, like they putting style to it and making it's totally different than when we were in school. But we also, like I said, they're also more spread out now and able to they throw the ball a lot more now than they did when we were in school.
Right.
Yeah, when we was in school, it was pretty much two tight ends. Let go.
Right.
Hey, man, offenses have evolved. Man, listen, it was two tight ends and a fullback. Like, where all the receivers at?
Right.
Pounding that rock.
Yeah, boy. Hey, you knew every game was gonna be a long one, boy. Yeah.
No
the
doubt.
awards keep coming for us. Our offensive line just won the Joe Moore Award for the best in the nation. But we'll be going up against Ohio State without Lander Dickerson. What does it mean not having him against that defense that looked pretty good against Clemson? I'll let you start with this, Ken, since you're a running back. And of course, those guys mean a lot to you.
Repeat that question. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Basically, I was just saying how, the awards keep pouring in. Of course, the offensive line just won the Joe Moore Award. But we're going to be without the services of one of the guys that got the award, and that's Landon Dickerson. What kind of effect is not having him in the lineup going to present to us against Ohio State's defense? And I want to get your perspective first because, the offensive line is a big deal to you because of all the success you had.
Yeah, man. His presence definitely going to be felt. That he's not going to be. His presence definitely going to be missed. That he's not going to be there. But at the same time, like the guys that was on the line with him, I know for a fact all those guys learn from each other, and they pretty much iron sharpens iron. So pretty much those jokers definitely stronger now when they first started than when they first started. So him not being there is going to hurt. But at the same time, I know all those boys definitely got that mentality to get the job done. even the guy that's coming in, stepping in this place. I don't think we're gonna miss a beat. I really don't think we're gonna miss a beat at all. I think we're gonna come out looking just as good, you know. So, and I know I already know he in everybody's ear or whatnot, because he's just that type of leader anyway. So I think everybody gonna come out fine on all cylinders, especially the O-line. I think they're gonna come out and do tremendous just for him, because he's not there.
God, please let our offense and our offensive line be excellent. Please let our offense score 50 points, because we going to need it, because Pete going to give up 49 and a half. Man, they better come out here and play, because Pete going to screw us. Listen, man, I'm wondering if Pete is on other teams' payroll. Man, listen, they gotta be on their game, because, again, Pete going to screw us, man. So I'm praying that we don't miss a beat, because Pete going to screw us. Telling you now.
They may surprise you, Marvin. They may surprise
Pete, no,
you.
I'm not. The players are going to play. I'm talking about Pete Golden, the defensive coordinator. He ain't going to surprise me. Pete going to do what Pete does, and that's give up points and watch Nick chew him out. The best thing that can happen is for Pete to have to quarantine, because he around somebody who tests positive or something, and for Pete to stay at home. Do not let Pete on the plane. Leave Pete in Tuscaloosa. That is our best chance to win. Leave Pete at home.
I think he'll step up to the plate, man.
He got to. He got no choice but to.
He watched that game film. He see what he working with.
Listen, look at the last 2 years. Has our defense played to the defensive standard? And I'm gonna even go back to when I played, because when I played, we had the number 2 defense in the country, and we didn't give up 8-9 points a game. Has the defense played to the Alabama standard?
No.
The past 2 years.
No.
Look who y'all played against in practice. Number 1 defense in the country in 05.
No. But I tell you
leave
what,
Pete's ass at home.
Hey, everybody know they better put an extra spice to their game come Saturday. Man,
listen, I ain't worried about the players. It's Pete that I'm worried about. Pete has been trashed since day one.
Hey, you know what, Marvin? You know, when we're in the chip, you know, Saban on another level. So I'm pretty sure all the coaches probably getting it just as hard as those players right now.
Oh yeah.
So I already know Pete.
You know they gonna come with
Pete probably on. Yeah, he know he. anything.
He probably on edge.
He probably got it. He probably getting it this week. If anybody,
yeah, he probably on edge because he know what this game means. So I think they all gonna surprise you, Marvin.
Yeah. If anybody, yeah, he know he probably on the chopping block. So he
needs to be on the chopping block.
He better get it. He better come with it. He better dial up a good game plan.
All right, look at this. I'm gonna go back to last year when we played Auburn. Mac Jones played the game good enough for us to win, did he not? We put up 40-some points, but Auburn put up 40-something too with that trash quarterback, Bo Nix. Bo Nix is trash. Gus Malzahn, who's now fired, is trash. You letting this trash beat us on a regular basis. Look at Ole Miss. Ole Miss almost beat us. Trash. I mean, come on, man. Look, again, give up a late touchdown to Notre Dame. You let Vegas win. Trash. Come on, man. SEC championship against Florida. Man, how that end up being a 6-point game? I'm sitting on my couch rocking back and forth like I need a priest for an exorcist because I don't know if we're going to win or not because he trash. How you let them come back, though? You let them come back. Close game. We got to make late stops. Our wide receivers, Mechie, he got to go ahead and pile drive people so we can keep the ball because God knows had Mechie not hit Buddy and Florida scored that touchdown, what would have happened? Right. Man, come on, man. Hey, leave Pete ass in Tuscaloosa. Send Pete to Rounders or Houndstooth, get him a fifth of whatever he drinking, and let him watch the damn game at the bar.
Hey, Marvin, quit making me. Hey, bro, you bringing the ball in. Don't make me nervous, bro. I'm telling you.
Bro, look at the Florida game. Whenever we play a team with a dynamic quarterback and a coach that can call plays, we struggle. I'm worried. I'm nervous, man. I ain't gonna. After watching Ohio State put up the numbers they did against Clemson, after watching them dimes that Justin Field was dropping, I get it. Clemson DBs, they weak, they suspect anyway. But still, Pete need to be at home.
Pete gonna surprise you, bro. I feel it.
Ain't that
That's what
Pete
your
ain't
call
gonna,
is.
no.
All right.
Pete gonna surprise you when he
So,
give
so
up
you,
50 points.
so you ain't gonna be satisfied until Pete put up a goose egg.
I ain't gonna be satisfied till
Yeah,
Pete
it's
get
been a while
fired.
since we've seen a goose egg.
Pete don't know
Man,
what a goose egg look like.
y'all care to add to that? Yeah, y'all don't have to be politically correct here.
You know what Pete know about that infinity symbol, because that's what he give up infinite points to everybody. Not a goose egg, the infinite symbol. And leave his ass at home.
Man,
Oh my gosh.
he gonna show up, man.
So
Got
Yeah,
to.
he gonna show up, but is he gonna do anything? Is the question. We know plenty. I tell you what, Mike Dubose. I'm gonna tell you one of the favorite funny things I ever heard Dubose say. Y'all remember Bart Ralston? Bart was about 6'7", 6'8", 320 pounds. You know what Dubose said one day? We gonna let you be the first person off the bus, because all you gonna do is intimidate people. When you get on the field, you ain't gonna goddamn blow a fella. Hey, now, hey, listen. Same thing with Pete. You can show up, but what you gonna do when you get there though? What are you gonna do when you get there? And he ain't done nothing the past 2 years, man. Again, you let Bo Nix and Gus Malzahn beat you. Mac Jones, phenomenal performance. Solid. Boom.
Yeah.
Look at the game we played against Michigan in the bowl game. They put up points on us. Again, look at the SEC championship last week. 6-point game. Come on, man. We should have blown Florida out.
True. Facts.
So I have to ask y'all this. Both you guys were considered playmakers on y'all's team. How important are the impact players in this game, and what would you guys tell Devonta and Najee?
I'll let you go, Pro.
Well, I
tell him
mean,
to stay away from Pete.
I think
Bad juice rub off
the
him.
impact play,
We
the
should have
impact
Jawan
players,
Simpson
man,
on
they
here.
got to step up. The impact players got to be the impact players. They got to show up in the game. I've always been told, even when I was playing, that big time players make big time plays in big time games, and those big time players have to make those big time plays, especially if the talent level on both sides are equal. Then you got to be the cream of the crop, and you got to rise to the top. And our best players have to show up in this game. Our best players have to be better than their best players, because I mean, it ain't no secret. They got some dudes on that side that can play ball too. So our dudes just got to show up and play ball, man. And
So let me ask you a question though. You just said our dudes got to show up. Now, Ryan Day calls plays for Ohio State. He's the OC. Do you really think Pete Golding is ready to match wits with Ryan Day? Do you really think Pete Golding is up to the challenge to match wits with Ryan Day?
Question.
Nah, ain't no next question. Answer the question. Do you really think Pete Golding is ready to match wits with Ryan Day? And don't be scared to answer. This is a safe place, Prothro.
It is.
This is a safe zone.
I think that matchup,
just say it, man. It's gonna be like a pit bull or chihuahua.
I think that matchup between coordinators in that sense, like, yeah, you would give the edge to today because of how
I'm gonna give him the whole piece of him.
but offensively, I mean, I don't know who their defense coordinator is. You gotta look at Sark also.
Pro, stop being politically correct. We're
look
not talking
Sark.
about our offense here.
Look
our
at
offense will
Sark.
be fine.
Well, no,
you're talking is not a concern.
But you were talking about
Pete
coordinators.
And Ryan Day.
You were talking about coordinators.
Yeah,
so,
Pete and Ryan. Them the only two we talking about.
Okay, but
offense.
You can't talk about coordinators if you can't talk about the other coordinators.
Yes, we can. Because we're gonna talk about the one we worried about.
And so is their defensive coordinator, is he ready for the matchup?
He's gonna get abused. He's gonna get abused by Sark.
So it's gonna be abuse against abuse. So it's whoever get the worst abuse, right?
So what you're saying is we need to post a domestic violence hotline on this show.
Everybody's gonna get it.
I think we're gonna show up and show out, man.
All right, hold on.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Hold on. Let me ask you this: do you think if we had Kirby Smart or Jeremy Pruitt as defensive coordinator, that Ryan Day will still have the same success that he's gonna have against Pete Golding?
No.
No,
question.
But I also think Pete Golding finna show up. He finna show up for you. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's gonna get off the bus, but just because
he can show up at the Holiday Inn Express all he wants.
Hold on, how many days do y'all show up to work but don't do nothing when you get there? Come on, man. That's That's what Pete gonna do. He gonna get off the bus in his little fresh press suit, go down there nervous. Cause I guarantee he nervous. Pete nervous.
Of course.
He's trembling.
He on the chopping blocks. He nervous. He know he on the chopping blocks. So that's
He
how I know
he should have been chopped by now.
That's how I know he gonna. That's how I know he don't come with a good game plan, man.
Ken,
At this point, he have no choice.
Question, Ken, was he not on the chopping block before we played Florida?
Yeah, I think he was.
Was his game plan sufficient, knowing he was on the chopping block when we played Florida? Was his game plan adequate?
It wasn't, but
not at all. Come on, man.
It wasn't, but they got the job done.
Yeah.
They got the job done.
We survived.
Well, okay. Hold on. You say we got the job done. Do you think that defensive performance we had against Florida, if we have that same performance against Ohio State, what do you think is going to happen?
I already know we're going to get whooped, but I don't think we're not going to now. If we play the way we played against Florida, against Ohio State, it's a wrap.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something, man. I'm going to tell you something real from a linebacker and a defensive player's perspective. I guarantee you, if I was on that team, I would be telling them dudes, like, look, I know our coordinator is our coordinator, but we got to go out here and play like we never played before. They got to have to rally together around each other. They're going to have to be their support system. They got to pull together and rely on each other more than they ever have in life in order for them to pull this off.
And that's the thing, bro. I think they will do that. I think they're
going to have to.
I think
Pete going to put them in some bad positions.
Out of all the people out there in that secondary, who you think is the dog in the secondary for the team, for our team right now? Just
the dog, Malachi Moore for one.
Well, Surtain, you can't say sure. Because they don't throw at him like that. They try to stay away from Surtain.
Yeah. So what I'm going with that is this, because like what you said, Marvin, great point. And to come back to answer your question as well, I think the players are going to have to rally around. Because at the end of the day, it don't matter what play call or what defensive set he put them boys in. They just gonna have to already.
They gotta execute, regardless of what
But it goes back to what I've been saying. We don't get enough of a pass rush to run all the man-to-man coverage that we run.
That's true.
You're right.
I'm just saying. Hey. Because I'll be honest with you, we were fortunate when I played that we had a pretty solid pass rush because, I'm covering, I might have had Dante Stallworth in the slot that I might have had to cover or Cedric Wilson or something. You think I'm going to cover them all day? No. But luckily, we had a decent pass rush to where we could run the stuff that we were. Again, as a coordinator, you should not just run the defense that you want to run. You should run the defense that suits your personnel. And that's not what we're doing.
I agree with
you. Back to my question, Ken. Being a former impact player yourself, what would you tell Najee or Devonta in this game?
I tell them boys personally, I just tell them keep doing what they've been doing all year. Don't go in and feeling like you need to do more than what you've been doing. All right.
They do more than they've been doing, man. What does it even look like?
Yeah, you already established to Bama fans and everybody in the nation that you those players. So at the end of the day, like Prothro said, it's just gonna have to be a different mindset on this one. You really gonna have to go out there knowing that whoever lined up in front of you, they can't see you. Period.
Right.
They just can't see you. Like it don't matter. I'm not finna do no extra. I'm just finna let you know that I'm better than you. Period. Nobody out here for Najee. That's how I used to be like. Nobody on the field can tackle me. There's no such thing as a one-on-one tackle. You don't have bring all 11 to bring me down. Period.
Yeah, like as far as your preparation, like you prepare the way you always prepare. Like don't over prepare. Don't think you got to do too much, like KD said. But when it comes to the plays on that field, 50-50 balls, you got to come down with. Like the plays the one-on-one plays, like you got to make them.
Yep.
One-on-one, Najee in the open one-on-one with a cornerback.
Make a miss.
You got to make a miss.
You got to make a miss.
So like that's what I mean by like preparation stays the same. Like you don't go try to do too much because you can do too much. But as far as making the plays on the field, your best players have to be better than their best players.
Exactly.
And our best guys, our studs, need to outshine their studs.
See, but the only problem with that is they got just as many studs as us. See,
They do.
so when you got
do.
equal amount of studs, it falls back on coaching and the scheme.
Man, leave Pete Golden alone.
No, Pete Chris.
Leave Pete Golden alone, man.
Hey, man, if I had to play under Pete Golden, I would enter the transfer portal. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna
Put
call
me in
you.
the portal.
Look,
I
I'm
can't
gonna
do
call
it.
you after this game. I'm gonna call you right after this game.
Please
And
do.
all I'm
Call
gonna say is, I told you so.
Can we
So,
get that on?
now let me ask you a question,
live?
though, Pro. If they give up 40 points, am I gonna hear from you?
If they give up 40 points, I'm gonna still call you, and I'm gonna be like, "You was
Bye,
right."
Pete.
I'm gonna say, "You was right." Get Pete out of there.
Because
Nah,
you got to admit,
I
their
think he's gonna
offense
be all
is
right,
better
man.
than Florida's offense.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
are.
I agree with that.
So how that went.
Well, given
It's
our
a game,
defensive
man.
our defensive challenges, how do we stop Justin Fields, Trey Sherman, and Chris Olave?
Let's start with
Pete at
Fields
home.
first. We're gonna have to put pressure on him. That's plain.
That's it. Simple as that. You got to get pressure on him.
Gotta put pressure on
Hey,
him.
you want to know the truth? If I was playing,
Here we go.
No,
I'd tee off on them ribs every chance I
No.
got.
Oh yeah.
I'd tee off on them ribs every play.
He get that show going. You put pressure on him, is nothing.
Hey, man,
It's
listen, by
gonna
the
be a
time I
done
was
deal.
done with him, by the time I finished with him, he'll feel like he was a slab at Dreamland. Them ribs would have been so smoked and breed up, man.
Hey, you already know he's gonna come into the game already kind of apprehensive because of them ribs. So
exactly.
he
You better
already
tee off.
And that's
Yeah,
when Christian
so-
Balmore can eat.
yeah. So
And
we
here's
tagging
the
off
next
on him.
question. If he starts running a lot, do we have the personnel to handle him as a runner? Because we all know, just hear me out. We run a lot of man coverage. When you have that much man coverage and you got a quarterback who can run, who gonna go get him when everybody got their back turned chasing receivers?
That's why we just got to rely on that D line to hold it down. That D line gonna have to gotta keep him in that box a little
Or is
longer.
this the
man.
game where
The
Dylan
Nah,
Moses-
you know the
key-
legitimate answer to this is I would run
The
cover
key to
one.
that is running so much man coverage to that them front four, them front dudes have got to get pressure.
Yeah.
If them front dudes
Yeah.
then we will be able to run with them man to man.
We gonna have to run.
If they can't,
zone.
then we probably gonna be in zone.
We're gonna have to run some zone pressures, mix in some cover one. I would run a lot of cover one with a spy. That spy for Justin Fields, because again, pocket breaks down, he's gonna take off. Who do we have that's enough of an athlete to spy him? Dylan Moses came out last
Moses
week.
can get it done.
Yeah,
Moses
he
has
came out-
enough in him to get to do it for sure, but he ain't been playing to that Dylan Moses standard. So
Right.
is he going
He
to
comes
show
out
up
and
in this
says he's
game?
been hurt.
Or is Christian Harris going to be that guy? He's an athletic guy and he can run with some folks.
Well,
But-
most people, when you're running cover one with your mic and your wheel, it's a two-man tag off anyway. So if he goes to that side of the field, then boom, there it is. But it's also predicated on who that number 3 receiver is. Because if the back is the number 3 receiver and he runs any type of route to the field, then the Mike linebacker has to take him. So it's automatically going to put the wheel in the rack or in the spy position on the quarterback. Vice versa. If he run it to the flat, then the wheels got to take him and at least Mike in the spy position. So it depends on what they do. And I know that Ryan Day is going to know that that's what they're going to try to do. And he's going to create plays and match up nightmares just for that purpose.
All right. I'm going to ask a couple more questions. The first one being, what does Alabama have to do to win this game? We'll start with you, Pro.
Execute. I mean, it all comes down to execution. We just said it a while ago. It don't matter what plays are called, whether it's the wrong play or the right play. You have to execute that play the way it's supposed to be executed, because a coach can put you in the right position, but if you ain't fitting your gaps, if you ain't covering where you're supposed to be, you can have a breakdown somewhere. So I think it all just boils down to, regardless of who's calling plays, the plays are going to be called. I think it just boils down to execution.
Are you gonna blitz in 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 8?
Say that again.
Are you gonna blitz in 3rd and 8?
Am I gonna blitz on 3rd and 8?
If you were Pete, would you blitz on 3rd and 8?
I would, because I'm aggressive minded. Like I like sending a blitz. Like, even, I know
Now,
it's a video.
hold on.
I know it's a video game, but when I play, like I blitz to try to
But
put
what
pressure.
coverage are you gonna put behind that blitz?
I mean, most of the
Zone
time it's man blitz.
Now, with Justin Fields running athletic ability, you're gonna create some problems blitzing that man in 3rd and 8. You're gonna open some lanes for that man in 3rd and 8.
Got to get to him.
That's all I'm saying.
You got to get to him.
That's it. You got to put
have we been getting the quarterbacks though?
We haven't. We haven't been getting to the quarterbacks consistently.
That was my whole point.
Yeah.
We better off in zone on 3rd and 8. That's all I'm saying.
I think though, if you bring out a nickel package and you let some of them are like send Malachi on a blitz, or let some of them DBs, blitz the edge or something like that. I mean, I think making him hurry, making him rush his throws can result in some picks. But I think you just got to sometimes you got to send faster guys, that can get around that edge and get some pressure on them. But when it boils down to it, man, their front line, they're gonna have to get pressure. They got to get pressure, whether you in man or whether you in zone. They got to get pressure.
And we all know, if you don't get pressure, what's the next best thing? Running games up front. And even running games up front, we hadn't been too successful with that. All I'm saying is, don't get out coached to the point it's detrimental to your team. That's all I'm saying.
Katie, what do you feel what we need to do?
I feel the same way, Prothro. I agree 100%. We just gonna have to execute, man. It's really not a rocket science to it. We just got to come up with a game plan and execute that game plan. Everybody just gonna have to be fine on all cylinders. It's one of those games you just got to play a great game and beat. Like what our coach always used to tell me, man, you always got to win one play at a time. Win that play, one play at a time, and go harder than the next man. You do that, all 11 do that. Hey, everything else is gonna take care of itself.
I agree.
All right, one last question for both of you guys. What was your best moment at Alabama in your career? We'll start with you, Pro.
And we ain't talking about breakfast at Rama Jammas either.
And you know what? I very rarely went to Rama Jammas.
Right.
What?
I can count on one hand how many times since I've been in Tuscaloosa, even up to this day.
Hey, you like
How many
cheeseburgers?
times
There goes our sponsor.
You like cheeseburgers?
Yeah, I do.
Shout out to Rama Jammas, one of the best cheeseburgers in Tuscaloosa.
No doubt.
There are more places I can get a good cheeseburger from, so I don't initially think about Rama Jammas when I think of cheeseburger.
Well, I guess I just go because I like to look at my pictures by the register,
Look at this dude, man.
That's what it comes down to.
Bro, done with you, man. When I was there, I only went there one time, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I took classes at was by the stadium. So I would always go to Rama Jammas for breakfast because my classes weren't too far from there. So it was just easy to just walk over there and get breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I went to Bryan Hall to get breakfast, making it to class on time. Probably wasn't going to happen.
Right.
No, but to go back to your question, man, to answer your question, I would have to say, I say a lot of times, Florida game was, was my best game, but my best overall moment was just everything that I did in the Southern Miss game. Just total yards wise, man. I had, kick return yards, I had, receiving yards. It was just everything that I did in that game. I think I had 279 yards total, all purpose yards. Had over 100.
Pete Gold and their defensive coordinator?
No, but I had had over 100 yards receiving that game. Just everything that I did in that game was just it was a moment. And there's plenty of other moments that I can name, but just everything that I did in that game, and then leading up to the catch. You know, it was just the game was it was dead until that moment. And then once we got that momentum and came back out, man, we came back out balling, and I think that was one of my best moments.
Can I borrow the ESPY for like a week? I just want to take some pictures, post them on the gram. You know what I'm saying? Like looking cool, leaning on it.
Yeah. If my brother get back to me,
man, your brother sound like my brother. Take all my stuff, give him a jerk. Most of my stuff at my brother's house. Like, how you got all my stuff? Like, what was I doing that you got all my stuff?
KD, what about you? I know you had a lot of great moments there, but what was in your mind your best?
Man, it's funny Prothro brought up those games because I would say the same, man. Florida game was a good game. That game right there was just electrifying all by itself or whatnot. But if I had to pinpoint any game, all the games, like Prothro said, all of them memorable. But I think my game will have to be Southern Miss as well. My
was it your
start? Yep. When Ray Hudson got hurt that Kentucky game that next week, they named me as a starter. I think, that was one of my best games, or not the best game. I think I had like over 200 yards rushing in that game.
You did.
And 1 or 2 touchdowns, but that was my first start. And from that point, it's going to be. It's going to get ugly in college. Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, man. All of them was memorable, though, man. I won't take not one game back. They all pretty much grew every player up, pretty much. And better.
No doubt. All right.
I enjoyed my time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we know you did, bro. All right. We do have to go around the room and get predictions for this game. We'll start with you, Pro. Who wins this game, and give me a score.
Well, of course, we know who's gonna win the game. Bama gonna win the game. If I had to give a score, man, I'm gonna do this
or
just
an MVP.
I'm gonna have to do this just for Marvin, man. Alabama, 35-0.
I like it.
35-0. Goose egg for my man Marvin, man.
I hope you ain't betting no money in Vegas.
We're gonna send Pete Golden out on a high note, man. This gonna be on his resume, so he gone after this one anyway.
I hope so. My God.
You got an MVP to go with that too?
I'm gonna go with my MVP. Gonna be Mr. Jalen Waddle, because I feel like he's gonna be in this game.
Oh. Hey, he's an MVP just for showing up in that game.
I know it, man. No, I think, man, Mac Jones, man, if he continues to play at the level that he plays at, man, I think there's no doubt he probably would get the MVP.
KD?
Man, Bama, of course. I think we're gonna win. I think it's gonna be 38-21. I think it'll be 38-21 us, of course.
If you had to pick an MVP, who would you pick?
I think the MVP gonna be Matt. I think it's gonna be Matt. I think he's gonna come out icy hot. I think he's gonna start letting that bad boy swing everywhere. So I'm gonna give him the MVP.
All right. Marvin?
Hey, look, I just got this cut right today. Just like Pete gonna get cut come Tuesday. I'm gonna take Bama 45-48.
Hey, Pete gonna give up that many?
Yep, Pete gonna give up 45.
Jeez. All right, MVP.
MVP?
Yes.
Smitty, baby.
Smitty. All right. I'll take it.
I need Smitty to show up. I need Smitty to catch 100 touchdowns, but we gonna need it with Pete. My God. If I could, I sneak Pro in there. Let him catch some ball. We gonna need all the help we can get.
He can still do it.
No, you
got some eligibility left.
You're gonna have to line me up behind the quarterback and let me get a few yards.
Ain't it, man? That boy Bees is carrying that ball too now.
That's about it. That's about all you gonna get from me.
All right, wrapping up. Marvin, can you tell us about your book, how that's going, people who you're changing lives for, and then how we can grab that book.
The book is doing what the book does: physical and mental fitness at 40 plus. You can find it at 40, the number 4040 plus strong.com, PLUSSTRONG, 40plusstrong.com. Again, the book is doing great numbers. Also, be on the lookout. I just unveiled my new fitness equipment line: gloves, compression sleeves for knees, elbows. We got wraps for lifting. We got straps. We got weightlifting belts. We got all of the above, baby, and even more coming. So check us out, 40plusstrong.com. Anything you need for working out to maintain a healthy lifestyle, we got you covered, baby.
That's what's up. Few program notes. The Tyler Turner Show is still every Monday night at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. He's all about the analysis side, recruiting news, and talent evaluation. So if that is your speed, check him out. Thursdays, the Jones and a Roadshow Show, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. They're just two guys from Jersey talking about the NFL, the Giants, college football, and just wherever they feel like it. Very entertaining show, so check them out. All right, Marvin, for next week, we'll, of course, have a victory celebration, and y'all welcome to come back. What you
It
got
better
for
be. It better be.
us?
It better
and
be.
if it's for pro, just come on and say, I told you so. We'll let that happen, too.
So next week, I'm going to go out on the limb, and I think this is going to happen. Mr. Blake Sims.
What?
Along with R&B superstar, up and coming, followers beyond followers beyond followers, Mr. Demarius Cole. And I got a couple surprises, too.
Y'all come around for that, okay? That's what's up. Man, we've been working on Blake for a while, so good job. Good job. All right, before we go, guys, if you would, just give us some closing remarks. What's next for you guys? And then how can we find y'all on social media?
Well, you can find me on social media, Facebook, just K Darby, or my name. I'm simple to find. Just type under my name, you should find me. As far as everything else, I do run and own my own real estate investing business. So,
hey, we need to talk, man. I need your number. We got to talk. Yeah, I like making money, baby. I got some money for you.
Come on. But yeah, I definitely run and operate my own real estate investing business. We do a lot of housing buying. We sell a lot of houses, put a lot of people in houses. And you can definitely go to my website. It's Driven, DRIVEN, Real Estate Solutions, all one word, .com. That's Driven Real Estate Solutions.com. And yeah, like I said, we buy in all areas. No, it don't matter what market or what state or whatnot. But that's what I've been doing, and that's how, if you want to reach me, any social media platform, just type my name in, simple and sweet. And if y'all ever want to do any kind of business transactions, definitely website, all my contact info on that as well. So, yep.
Same with me, man. All you got to do is, you type in my name. I think my Twitter and Instagram is probably Prothro4. With Facebook, you just type my name in. So it's simple. Right now, man, we just, of course, just got out of football season. So right now we're about to come in, start back, lifting weights. So I'm up at Jasper High School and just trying to make kids better, man. We're about to start back in the weight room. So just trying to get them back in the weight room, get them bigger, faster, stronger, so that we can compete in 6A.
Y'all need some workout gloves, some straps, some wraps, some weightlifting belts. Hey, call your boy, man.
Okay.
Are you offering to sponsor them?
You got the plug.
Hey, man, listen, man. Hey, I'm serious about this fitness stuff. Y'all see I'm sitting in my gym right now. Like, I got like a full gym in my house. So that lets you know I'm serious about this.
I got you.
No doubt. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on. Had a great time. So look forward to this game on Monday night, and let's go do our thing and win this natty, get number 18. So,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Fire Pete.
And if that happens, we'll also have a Fire Pete party hosted by Marvin. So y'all be sure and look out for the invites. No, but seriously, guys, had a great night. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll
Thank
Tide.
you.
Thank
Oh,
you,
man.
gentlemen. Thank you. Many
Thank you.
blessings.